The protein deception, the food that fails, seniors, and the superfood that reverses muscle loss. What if the one food you've trusted for decades to keep you strong is actually a silent saboteur in the fight for your own health? For years, you've been told a simple story. To build and maintain muscle, especially as you age, you need protein. And at the heart of that story, there has always been one undeniable champion: the egg. It sits on your breakfast plate as a symbol of your commitment to staying healthy, strong, and vital. You eat it faithfully, believing you are giving your body the absolute best. But what if that belief is based on a lie, a fundamental misunderstanding that is quietly allowing your strength, your stability, and your very independence to slip away, day by day? What if I told you that while you're meticulously doing what you think is right, your muscles are still starving, that they are crying out for a different kind of fuel, a more powerful, more intelligent nutrient that the humble egg simply cannot provide? This isn't just about getting weaker. This is about the silent erosion of your life force, a process called sarcopenia that starts decades earlier than anyone ever warns you about. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on this deception. We will expose why your trusted protein source might be failing you and reveal the identity of an often overlooked superfood that science shows can be profoundly more effective at protecting and even rebuilding the muscle you're at risk of losing. But before we go any further, I need you to be part of this conversation. I want you to pause for a moment and think about a time you felt let down by a healthy choice. A time you followed the advice, ate the right food, but still felt tired, weak, or just not yourself. What was that food or habit, and how did it make you feel? Drop your story in the comments below. I'm going to be reading every single one because your experience is a crucial part of this shared truth we are uncovering today. Let's name the enemy we're fighting: sarcopenia. It's the medical term for age-related muscle loss, but its impact is felt in the most personal parts of our lives. Sarcopenia isn't just about the inability to lift heavy boxes. It's the reason a walk around the block feels more tiring than it used to. It's the subtle hesitation before you tackle a flight of stairs. It's the loss of confidence you feel when playing with your grandchildren, worried you might not be steady enough to lift them up. Muscle is your body's armor. It protects your fragile bones. It keeps your joints stable. It regulates your blood sugar like a master chemist. And it even functions as your body's largest endocrine organ, communicating directly with your brain to keep you sharp and resilient. When you lose this armor, you don't just become physically weaker, you become more vulnerable. Your risk of a life-altering fall skyrockets. Your metabolism slows to a crawl, making weight gain almost inevitable. And the vital communication line between your muscles and your brain begins to fray, contributing to brain fog and a decline in cognitive function. The most insidious part? It begins in your 30s. It's a quiet thief, stealing less than 1% of your muscle mass each year. You don't notice it at first, but by the time you're 60 or 70, that thief has made off with a quarter or more of your strength, leaving you to wonder what happened. This is why the protein story is so critical. We've been told eggs are the answer, and in a way, they are. Think of an egg as kindling for a fire. It catches quickly, burns brightly, and provides a fast, immediate burst of protein. It's good for getting the fire started. But as we age, our muscles don't just need a quick spark. They need a mighty, slow-burning log, a fuel source that can sustain the flames for hours on end, providing a steady, unwavering supply of rebuilding materials. This slow-burning log not only builds new muscle, but more importantly, it prevents the existing fire from dying out. It stands guard against the breakdown that happens silently, especially overnight. That slow-burning, powerhouse log is cottage cheese. I can almost hear your skepticism through the screen. Cottage cheese? The food pushed in diet fads from decades ago? But I ask you to set aside that image and look at the hard science. Gram for gram, a high-quality cottage cheese doesn't just meet the protein content of eggs, it often blows it away, with some varieties packing 14 grams of protein or more per 100 grams serving. But its real magic lies in two secret weapons that make it a superior choice for protecting aging muscles. First, its protein is up to 80% casein, a complex, slow-digesting protein that your body absorbs over a period of 4 to 6 hours. It's a time-release nutrient capsule. Second, it is exceptionally rich in a specific amino acid called leucine, the undisputed master switch for muscle growth. And understanding that switch is the key to reclaiming your strength. To truly grasp the power we're talking about, you need to visualize what's happening deep inside your body at a cellular level. Imagine each of your muscle cells is a highly advanced factory, poised and ready to build. The protein you eat is the raw material, the steel, concrete, and wiring delivered to the factory doors. But those materials will just rust in the yard unless the factory foreman gives the order to begin production. In your body, that all-powerful foreman is a biological pathway known as mTOR. When mTOR is activated, it's like a bullhorn blasting through the factory. Production start now. This command initiates the entire process of muscle protein synthesis, the building and repairing of your muscle tissue. So, what flips the foreman's switch? What is the one signal that gets mTOR's attention above all others? It's that special amino acid we just mentioned, leucine. Leucine is unique. It acts as the primary, direct trigger for the mTOR pathway. When a sufficient amount of leucine floods your bloodstream after a meal, it's like the foreman gets a direct, non-negotiable order from headquarters. The factory roars to life. But here is the critical challenge that comes with age. Our bodies develop a condition called anabolic resistance. It's as if the workers in our muscle factory have become hard of hearing. They're wearing noise-canceling headphones. The quiet, polite request that was enough to start production when you were 25 is now completely ignored. To get the same result, the foreman has to shout. The leucine signal must be significantly louder and more potent. This is the central flaw in relying solely on eggs. You can eat a meal with a decent amount of protein, but if it's low in leucine, the signal is just a whisper. The factory remains idle. The building materials are wasted. Scientific research has zeroed in on the magic number for older adults. To reliably overcome anabolic resistance and trigger muscle growth, you need a leucine threshold of approximately 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine in a single meal. Now, let's do the math. One large egg contains about 0.5 to 0.6 grams of leucine. To hit that 3-gram shout, you'd have to eat 5 or 6 eggs in one sitting. Who can do that? Compare that to a single 1-cup serving of high-quality cottage cheese. It can deliver nearly 3 grams of leucine all by itself. It's not just dropping off more steel at the factory gate, it's delivering the foreman with the bullhorn, ensuring the work actually gets done. So, I have to ask you, have you just been delivering materials? Have you been meticulously planning meals, counting protein grams, but forgetting to send the order to build? This single insight, this shift from just thinking about quantity of protein to the quality and signal strength of leucine, can be the turning point in your fight for strength. Now we arrive at one of the most frustrating paradoxes of aging. It's a cruel trick your own body plays on you. Have you ever eaten a sensible, healthy meal, a large salad with a bit of grilled chicken or a hearty vegetable soup, and felt perfectly satisfied? You push the plate away, feeling full, virtuous even. Yet a few hours later, a wave of fatigue washes over you, and your legs feel strangely heavy. You blame it on a dozen things: a bad night's sleep, dehydration, a midday slump. But the real culprit might be a communication breakdown between your stomach and your muscles. The feeling of fullness or satiety is a complex hormonal process. When you eat, your digestive system releases hormones like leptin that travel to your brain and say, "Okay, we're good here, shut down the appetite." The problem is, as we age, this system can become dysregulated. Your brain's fullness sensor becomes overly sensitive. It gets the stop eating signal long before your muscles have received the critical 25-30 grams of protein and the 3-gram leucine trigger they desperately need to grow. It's like trying to fill up your car, but the fuel gauge is broken. The needle hits full when the tank is only half full. You confidently drive off, only to sputter to a halt a few miles down the road. Your brain is the faulty fuel gauge, and your muscles are the sputtering engine. Day after day, meal after meal, this creates a silent but devastating protein deficit. You feel like you're eating enough, but you are systematically starving your muscles. This is where you need to become your own advocate, using a tool I call the muscle check-in. It's simple. After you finish a meal, pause, take a breath, and ask yourself a different question. Instead of, "Am I full?" ask, "Did I feed my muscles?" Analyze your plate with this new lens. Did that meal hit the targets? If not, the solution isn't to force-feed yourself another huge meal. It's to add a protein topper, a small, targeted dose of high-quality protein to bridge the gap. This could be a half cup of cottage cheese, a small bowl of Greek yogurt, or even a small handful of almonds. It's a strategic supplement, not a second helping. By doing this, you are manually overriding your body's faulty signals. You are taking back control and ensuring that you are fueling not just your hunger, but your fundamental strength and vitality. For too long, we've viewed the body in separate parts. We think of muscles as the bicep and the brain as the control center, as if they were in different zip codes. The reality is far more beautiful and interconnected. Your muscles are a powerful, chemical-producing pharmacy, and every time you use them, you are writing a prescription for a sharper, healthier brain. When you contract a muscle, whether you're lifting a grandchild, pushing a lawnmower, or doing a simple squat, your muscle fibers release a flood of remarkable signaling molecules called myokines. Think of myokines as molecules of hope. They travel through your bloodstream and cross the blood-brain barrier, delivering powerful messages directly to your brain. Myokines like BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, act like fertilizer for your brain cells, encouraging the growth of new neurons. Others, like erysin, have been shown to improve mood and fight inflammation. They are your body's built-in antidepressants and anti-anxiety agents. This is the science behind why a brisk walk or a short workout can instantly clear your head and lift your spirits. It's not just in your head, it's a powerful biochemical event. Now here is where we create the neurological multiplier effect. The movement, the muscle contraction, sends the message, we need to be stronger and more resilient. The protein, especially the leucine, provides the building blocks and flips the mTOR switch, answering, here are the materials and the orders to make it happen. When you time these two events together, you don't just get an additive effect, you get an exponential one. You're not just repairing a muscle fiber, you're reinforcing and upgrading the entire mind-body communication network. You are simultaneously building physical power and cognitive clarity. The practical application is simple. Within 30 to 60 minutes after any form of resistance exercise, consume your high-protein, high-leucine meal or snack. This is the golden window when your muscles are most receptive. The mTOR signal is primed and the myokine messages are flying. A bowl of cottage cheese post-workout isn't just feeding a muscle, it's feeding your brain. It's an investment in your physical independence and your mental sharpness. Imagine you spend all day diligently depositing money into your bank account. Then every night while you sleep, a thief comes and withdraws a significant portion of it. You'd wake up poorer every single day, no matter how hard you worked. This is exactly what can be happening to your muscles while you sleep. The thief's name is cortisol. Cortisol is your body's primary stress hormone. In short bursts, it's essential for survival. But when it remains chronically elevated, due to stress, poor sleep, or a long fasting period overnight, it becomes relentlessly catabolic. This means it breaks tissue down for emergency fuel. And its favorite tissue to plunder? Your hard-earned muscle. Every stressful, restless night, cortisol is silently dismantling your strength, leaving you weaker and more metabolically fragile in the morning. Have you ever woken up feeling groggy, achy, and craving sugar? That's often the signature of a nighttime cortisol spike. But you can hire a security guard. You can post a defense that works for 8 straight hours. This is the ultimate power of casein protein. By consuming a substantial dose of casein, found abundantly in cottage cheese, about 30 to 60 minutes before bed, you are setting up a biological defense system. The slow, steady drip feed of amino acids into your bloodstream all night long does 2 incredible things. 1, it keeps cortisol suppressed. The thief sees the guard at the door and backs away. 2, it provides a continuous supply of building blocks, turning your sleep from a catabolic breakdown state into a profoundly anabolic rebuilding state. Scientific studies have validated this again and again, showing that a pre-sleep casein meal can boost overnight muscle protein synthesis by more than 22%. You are literally building muscle while you sleep. This simple habit, the casein reset, is one of the most powerful strategies you can deploy. It's not just a late-night snack. It is an active, strategic intervention to protect your most valuable physical asset. You go to bed knowing you are not just resting, but actively rebuilding, ready to wake up stronger than when you fell asleep. Knowledge is inert. It's the application of knowledge that creates transformation. So let's assemble everything we've learned into a simple, actionable, 3-part daily blueprint. This isn't a diet or a grueling workout plan. It's a system for working with your body's natural intelligence. Step 1. Anchor your day with protein triggers. Your mission is to hit the leucine threshold 3 times a day. Morning anchor, meal 1. Start your day with a powerful signal. Forget the single egg or plain toast. Opt for a Greek yogurt bowl loaded with nuts and seeds, or 2 slices of whole grain toast topped with a thick layer of cottage cheese and sliced avocado. Midday anchor, Meal 2. Your lunch should be centered around a palm-sized portion of lean protein, chicken, fish, lean beef. Then, perform the muscle check-in. Is your protein portion a little small? Add your protein topper, a side of cottage cheese, or a small protein shake. Evening anchor. Meal 3. This meal is crucial, especially if you exercise in the afternoon. Repeat the formula from lunch. After your meal, prepare for your final, most important step. Step 2. Activate the neurological conversation. Twice a day, you will deliberately send those myokine messages from muscle to brain. The morning prime, 10 minutes. Before coffee, before you check your phone, perform a simple circuit to wake up your body. Examples: 10 bodyweight squats, 10 wall push-ups, a 30-second plank, 15 calf raises. Repeat for 2 rounds. The goal isn't exhaustion, it's activation. The resistance burst, 20 to 30 minutes. Sometime in the afternoon or early evening, perform your main strength session. This can be with resistance bands, dumbbells, or just your body weight. Aim for a feeling of being challenged. Remember to consume your protein within an hour after this session to capture that golden window. Step 3. The nighttime reset and daily audit. This is where you lock in your gains and set yourself up for success. The casein reset, 30 to 60 mins before bed. Consume 1 to 1.5 cups of cottage cheese or a casein-rich Greek yogurt. This is your non-negotiable nighttime defense. The 60-second audit. Before you turn out the light, ask yourself 3 questions. 1. Did I hit my protein anchor at every meal today? 2. Did I move my body with purpose? 3. How does my body feel right now compared to yesterday? This simple reflection creates a feedback loop that makes the process intuitive and sustainable. This blueprint works because it leaves no stone unturned. It provides anabolic triggers all day, it sparks the neurological multiplier effect, and it defends against catabolic breakdown all night. You are creating a 24-hour environment for strength. For far too long, the narrative of aging has been one of inevitable loss. We've been told to accept weakness as our fate, but science tells a different, more hopeful story. It tells us that our bodies are perpetually listening, waiting for the right instructions. You now hold those instructions. You understand the protein deception and the power of the leucine trigger. You know how to overcome the satiety trap and how to use movement to forge a stronger mind. You have the blueprint to turn sleep into a powerful tool for regeneration. This is your map out of the land of passive decline and into the world of active ownership of your health. My final challenge to you is simple. Commit to this blueprint for just 3 days. That's it. For 3 days, anchor your meals, activate your body, and defend your nights. And pay close attention. Notice how you sleep. Notice your energy levels. Notice the clarity in your mind. Notice if standing up from your favorite chair feels just a tiny bit easier. That feeling is not a placebo. That is your biology responding to intelligent design. You are not too old. It is not too late. If this message has armed you with knowledge, inspired you with hope, or given you a clear path forward, I ask you to do 3 things. Like this video, share it with one person in your life who needs to hear it, and subscribe to Wisdom Free. Every click sends a signal that this truth matters. It helps us build a community dedicated not just to living longer, but to living stronger. Thank you for your time and your trust. Your strength is not a memory. It is a choice you can start making today.